Good afternoon, evening. Saying afternoon repeatedly does not work as well as saying morning. How is everybody doing today? I'm very, very, very tired, chat. And the second the stream is over, I'm going to go step out of this chair, fall into the bed that's directly behind me, and pass out. It's going to be great. You were speed, I noticed. First off, congratulations, Kodo, for being first. Thank you, Lero. Thank you, Lero, for being second. And Vonnie, thank you for being third. Hello, everybody. Hi, Robin. How you doing? Kodo, lovely to see you. Hi, Moxie. Hi, Neeks. I see you lurking, Pink. Lovely to see you. Anya, how you doing, Anya? Good morning, good evening, Moreau. Lovely to see you as well, Moreau. And Cala Faith and Silver. Hi, Silver. How you doing? You're Frosty. Good to see you. And Lily Dragon. Hello there, Lily Dragon. Have I told you I like your name? I like a lot of people's names, but I just like people who have fun names. I got work in 30 minutes, so I'll only be here for that long. Wish I could stay longer. I totally feel you. It's okay. And hello, Desi. Desi, I saw you sent me something. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. Don't be upset at me. Wait, did you delete it? Didn't you send me something? How dare you? How dare you, Desi? Wait, I'm in the wrong person. So I'm looking at the wrong person. I just saw the D. It wasn't you. Give me a second. I was like, that's not your profile picture. There you are. Good, you didn't delete it. Okay, good. I will listen to it later. Anyways, hello. It's a good night for me. Lady Lean, I'm glad to hear. And I love that emo. Oh my God, it's adorable. Wait. Okay, listen to me. When you're in streamer mode, it only shows you the first letter, so I thought it was Desi, but Desi didn't delete it. So hi, Desi. Good to see you. Hello, Pretty Lean. And Lero, what is that emote? That's so cute. I need to get emotes. I need to get more emotes. Kodo, I'll praise you in just a second. Let me read what's going on with Moxie here. My mom is picking me up, so I might leave y'all, so don't get called a boy in front of her, but I came out to some of my friends, and it went well. Congratulations! Good job, I'm proud of you. And Neeks, hi, Neeks. It's 8:12 a.m. for me. Oh, no, that's awful. You can't read part 1000. Look, chat, it's hard for me to read, okay? And Kodo. It makes me so proud of you that you're here first. You're doing a fantastic job, sweetie, and you are just so wonderful, okay? You're kind, you're sweet, and I really, really do appreciate you having you in my community. I know that you're going to do great things, Kodo, so you keep trying, you keep doing, and you'll get there, okay, Kodo? You're so very lovely, and thank you so much for the dream. What did you think? Did Gene try to pin blame on me for like, yeah, no, because look, I thought you deleted the thing. I thought you deleted the thing you sent me. And I'm like, wow, coward. How dare you? But no, you didn't delete it. I was in somebody else's chat. Anyways, chat. So today, we're going to be playing some indie horror games. But first, I just want to say, chat, I ate super healthy today. Be proud of me, okay? Be proud of me right now. I need somebody to be proud of me for eating healthy. 'Cause I can't be the only person proud of myself. Thank you, Echo. Hi, Echo. Lovely to see you. What do you mean no comment? Rude. Neeks, don't run. Thank you, Silver. I appreciate it. I put too much G-subs in this water. So, yes. You forgot to eat for an undisclosed amount of time? Eat. Neeks, bye, bunny. Thank you, Moxie. See, because I'm eating better. I want to eat more healthier so that eventually I'll have more energy and we can do longer streams and I can be more energetic and I can be more fun to be around with, you know? Bun, I still owe you that audio. I ate kind of healthy and napped and exercised my day away. Proud of you, Echo. Good job. Hmm. Neeks, you don't try to brat. You're just always a brat. Nothing owed. I definitely said I was going to do that, so, you know. You ate like a fat ass. Well, you know. Was it good food? Was it good? Work on that. Chat, remember, I need you all to be healthy as I'm trying to get, so that you all can be here all the time and have as much energy as I do and manage to stay for the streams, you know? And we can do cool stuff together. We can go hang out. We can go to, I don't know what we're going to do, chat. VR maybe? Maybe we'll do VR Worlds at some point. That's what we'll do, chat. Once I get a full 3D body, I'll get a VR chat body made for it. And then we will do meetups in VR chat. There you go. Exactly. Wouldn't that be fun? Thank you so much for the follow, Ms. Kumo. How you doing? You're hitting me with a lariat? What's a lariat? What is a lariat? Chat, I redeemed praise for Gene from everybody. Chat, what do you mean you redeemed praise for? Huh? Oh, but you don't have to actually use VR. You can use, like, the desktop app. Good, Lily, I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. Thank you so much for that follow. I really appreciate it. Were you trying to redeem praise so everybody has to praise me? Because, you know, I'll take it. Hello, Scandal Mine Man. Scandal Mine Man. Wie ein schönes Name. I like your name. Where is the browser alert, chat? I lost my browser alerts. Oh, there it is. There you go. We should hear him now. Und mein Deutsch ist nicht so gut. Ich can't think of the words right now, chat. I'm trying. I give up on German. German's amazing. Can barely speak. I'm proud of you for being healthy and following through your goals. You have aced your audition tape and scored some awesome jobs. I've scored a job, chat. Which, by the way, we're going to hear some audio from that game that I'm going to be in very soon. You can hear me go, I don't actually even remember what my lines were, but it will be cool. I hope you keep doing amazing. I know. Yes, I did 3 voices for one game, so you'll hear 2 of the voices soon. Oh, yeah. I did my voice demo reel, and then the guy who did my voice demo reel said, hey, there's this guy who's like, he's doing this like RTS game, and he's looking for more voices. Do you want to like audition for that? I'm like, yeah, sure. And he gave me this list of voices, and I did a bunch of them, and a few of them I thought I did awful, and then one I thought I did really well. Chat, tell me which ones he picked. Tell me which voices he picked. Why was it the ones I thought I did bad in? The one where I did like, oh yeah, let me do a cocky Scottish accent or something. I don't know how to do a Scottish accent. I don't know what accent I did. but he immediately picks the one that I'm just like, yeah, no, this is just I'm just throwing this one in. He doesn't have this. Oh, sorry, Scandal. I do voice acting. Hello, it's me. I'm a voice. Do you want to hear it? Scandal. Do you want to hear my demo reel real quick? Do you want to hear it? Chat, can I play my demo reel real quick for somebody? Please? Yay! I don't think I'm gonna make it. My legs hurt. Even my brain hurts.
Reversing the polarity will cause a cataclysmic reaction of... turn the dials right. Make device go boom!
I thought I'd left you dead in the desert. I mean, haunted by ghosts, ain't I? I guess I deserve it.
Good evening, fellow Mad Cats. DJ Fang is ready to spin more records. Coming up next, 12 commercials back to back. My favorite.
You've made it. I didn't think you'd come. No one else has. Still, you seriously made my day. We are not taking any more party members. Wait, are you wearing a dead possum as a scarf?
Nah, she ain't dead. She's just scared. The poor sweetie pie.
Please, take a seat. Right here, by my side.
Where you can't get away so easily.
I am Nerd. Hear me roar. I can't really roar that well, but I'm trying, okay?
Well, that's what the last guy thought. And you don't want to know what happened to him.
Do not be blinded by fear, my child. Embrace it. Welcome it. Let it pass. Remember, only you shall remain in the end. So yeah, there's the demo reel. Anyways, yes, so I got part of a game. What was I talking about? I have forgotten all things that we were talking about, chat. Anyways, I have a line in a game now, or a couple lines in a game. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be very cool. And hopefully I've auditioned to some more games. If we get into the one game that I really, really want to get into, we're going to play it on stream. It is a dating sim game. I can't tell you more than that. But it is guy-on-guy dating. So we'll see how that one goes. All right. Chat. What do you mean it's been stuck in your head? Okay, so. We are going to be doing some horror games today. Silas, you know where you belong in guy-on-guy dating. These are some demos that I saw that I'm like, games I'm excited about, but like aren't released yet, and they're like going to release eventually, but I'm like, I want to see what they're like, okay? So, yes. And these, my brain is struggling so aggressively now. These games look fun, okay? So we're going to pop around to try out some of these games, see what they're like, and hopefully, if they're good, we'll play them when they fully release. And we'll have fun with it. Gene, I have good news. River, what's your good news? Tell me your good news. Your cloaca. Since when are you a bird? Since when are you a bird, Silas? You ran out of chili? That's insane. That is insane. There we go. I found it, chat. I found it. We're going to be playing a game called No, I Am Not a Human. Damn you, Silas. What do you mean? What am I missing here? I feel like you're all talking about something that I'm being left out of intentionally. Fight me, chat. All of you right now, IRL. Let's go. Oh, by the way, can I say thank you all for not redeeming for not redeeming any of the Tangia things this morning because I forgot to disable it. But I really appreciate you all. So, you know. Because we were doing ASMR and that would have not been very good. Hi, Jibbits. Welcome, Jibbits. Jibbits, I like your name. Jibbits, your name is cool too. How you doing? I'm thinking it's because... Okay, I think we hit the mark of where I need to be at for just chatting. We're heading over into horror games, chat. If you don't like horror games, I do apologize. We're going to be playing some indie horror games, some demos, trying them out and seeing what they're like. Well, ignore it. I'm sorry, I got distracted. What did you say? One day I interviewed either Wednesday or Oh, nice! Good job, River. I'm proud of you. Hi, Keeper. Hi, Snowfang, by the way. I don't think I said hi to you directly. Hi, Echo Rose. How you doing? You are invisible. I'm sorry, Echo. Only me. There is no fucking you. Game time, chat. All right, let's see if it pops up. Chat, can you see the game? Can you also see whatever the hell that was? A modest cloaca. Not a puppy. Was not what I was expecting on my Twitch doom scroll. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. That was... Okay. And y'all can hear the game all right? Oh, one sec. Let's do... Pull up the game volume a little bit. That looks good. Okay. You hate it here? Mwah. I'm doing great. Do we just go straight in? Hey neighbor, long time no see. How's life? Oh no, chat. So chat, for those of you who don't know, I have a text overlay on the screen so I can see chat easier. We've talked about this before. You are all right over top of the the game font, so I can't actually read anything right now. 1 second, let me move you. There, chat. You behave over here on this side, okay? Hi, Aim. I don't know how to say your name, but your name looks cool. La Roche? La Roche. La Roche. This doesn't hit you. Don't choke on your drink. Okay. Same as it ever was. Hey, I came over for a reason. I'm a little worried about you. I'll be patiently waiting for my praise. Oh, you did redeem praise. First off, kiss for chat, Echo. Mwah. And Desi, you are so very kind. You're so sweet. You are adorable, and I appreciate you a lot. I really, really do. You make others feel better, even if you don't try. I really do appreciate you so much, and I know you're going to do fantastic things. You'll do amazing. Just keep up the work you're doing now. Put the best effort in, and you got this, okay? Mwah. I really do appreciate you, Desi. And thank you for praising me, even when you don't need to. Hello, Irene Devil. How you doing? Hi, I came over for a reason. I'm a little worried about you. Something bad's coming. Get some sleep. You can call me Amy. Amy is a nice name. I like that. And there's people coming from the underground. They're calling them visitors for some reason. Creepy. I hope it's not true. What's happening with the sun? Either it's going to explode or there's going to be an explosion on it. All I know is something's wrong with it. You notice the summer's been hottest yet, right? I think we need to prepare for the worst. My cousin said that staying home alone is dangerous. So I came over so you don't get killed. Okay, how's your wife and daughter? Don't worry, a good friend just arrived the other day. He'll look after my family. Alright, let's continue this conversation in the morning then. I'll wait for you in the kitchen. See you in the morning. What? What? Hi, Irene Devil. How you doing? Caught you off guard? What do you... How... Okay. If you didn't know my voice, Irene, what brought you into the stream? Did you just see the model and was like, cute? Or how'd you find me? I need to know. Hello, Necro Error. How you doing? All right, where is the... Are you calling me a snack? All right, I'm trying to find... Where's the kitchen? Silas, what the hell? That's fair, Silas. This is your life now. This is your life now, Silas. Definitely not the voice. Fight Vanya. Hi, Vanya. Mwah. That's fair. Breaking news. At 6:28 a.m. today, there was a powerful emission of energy from the sun. The burst was larger than scientists has predicted. The temperature outside has reached critical levels. The government has declared a state of emergency. We're asking all people to refrain from going outside during the day. How fun. So horrible, good. You, my lovely... So horrible, good. And you. Do you mean so horrible? Good? What? What? I'm very, very confused what you mean by so horrible good. I built character... God, this guy's creepy. Well, then everything I said makes sense. Don't go outside during the day, and you have to let other people in. Why should I let strangers into my house? I know you keep your distance from people, but you have to. But she mentioned that when anyone asks if you're alone, say no and tell them somebody's in the house with you. What's the use of extra people? They might bring something or tell something interesting. And don't forget to test them for signs they're a visitor. You won't have much energy during the day with this heat. So you have to choose who you want to test carefully. The tests are really strenuous. You have to take a real good look. But you don't have to worry about the conversation part. That won't take energy, so talk as much as you like. And be sure to look out the windows. The TV's a good resource, but it doesn't tell you what's going on around you. I know, right? This looks really interesting. I'm actually really excited to see like what this game is about. It's just a demo right now, but like It has a fun vibe. Thank you for the follow, Irene Devil. I really, really appreciate it. Let's see if you win. You didn't win, I'm sorry. A bird demon? Since when is there a bird demon? I'm afraid that's all we can do is try to survive. And hope that the nightmare ends soon. I think the government will help us somehow. Maybe they'll lead everyone to the shelter or something like that. If they do, stay with my family. By the way, I brought you a case of beer. My brother-in-law works at a brewery. Drink and go to sleep. Makes you really sleepy, so if you don't want to talk to anybody else, drink a beer and relax. Who is this guy? Wait, we hit 1,300? We hit 1,300 already? How do we... What? Oh, wait. Thank you all so very, 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 very much. We were at 600 at the beginning of last month. We have more than doubled. That is insane. Y'all, I really appreciate y'all. I'm so excited to see what we can come with this. Mwah. Thank you all so very, very much for getting me there. And thank y'all for hanging out. Y'all make this stream so much fun, okay? Why, Vanya? Why? I checked the bathroom. God, the art in this game is so weird. I need to start putting a lot more work into it, chat. I mean, oh, you know, I want to get, oh, shoot, chat. Okay, I have some things I need to ask you all about, but I want to talk to this guy real quick. I want to see what happens here. First, chat. If you could have any product in the world, what product would you like? Like if you wanted to be like G-Subs, for instance, is one that got you all, but like shirts, is there anything that you guys like to buy that you would love? Chat, I'm selling firearms now. No. Because so I'm talking to somebody right now who might be able to get me connected with some sponsors, and so they're asking like, hey, if you wanted to like have certain things, enamel pins would be sick. If you'd want to be sponsored by any companies like electronics, or if you want to be sponsored by like an energy drink or whatever, like what companies would I want to deal with? Like outside of merch, is there anything else that you guys like buy regularly that you are personally like super wanting? Plushies? Outside of merch. Okay, I guess we're drinking beers. Give me the beer. Oh, there we go. A makeshift plushie? Yeah. Snacks. Send money for motorcycle and Red Bull. Okay, energy drinks, snacks, socks. So you like soft things. You like foods. Drinks. We'll see if we can get like nail pens I'd love to get. We'll work on it, chat. A Gene gummy, I'm gonna eat the puppy. Alright, here we go. Shit, they have no eyebrows. Hi, is my dad here? Can you get him for me? I was okay earlier, but now I'm scared. There are a lot of people out walking at night. What's your dad's name? You forgot his name? Oh, you're just testing to see if I'm a visitor or not. You're smart. I'll start testing people now, too. Are you afraid of the visitors? I don't know. Everyone's afraid of them, so I am too. I've never seen any of them. Are they scary? Do they hit you hard? Thank you for the lurk. My friend from school punches me. Is he a visitor too? Timu mission. Exactly. I mean... Dad said to be careful. I'm super careful. I tiptoed over here real quiet. No one saw me. I'll get the dad. Thanks to you too. Let's go already, or I'll be scared at night alone. We're gonna play some kind of game he made up for me. You have to roll a dice, and then you have to move using stuff like armchair or the couch. You have to build a road. I'll show you later. Bye. Oh, shoot. Is she in here? What's up, Pamo? How you doing, Pamo? Mwah. I was taking shelter at the bar, but they kicked me out. Why? Not everyone could handle my temperament. But I won't hurt anybody. Don't worry. Life is shitty sometimes. You get it. Why are you so tall? Why are you tall? You're not a visitor, are you? You think I'm one of those monsters? No, not a visitor, but asking everyone that directly is fucking nonsense. I guess things won't be any different here anyway. Don't... Hey! Oh, I should probably move, actually. Give me a second, chat. I want you all to be able to actually see what's going on. I'm not that tall. I'm just a little tall. Bloop. Don't talk to me or my son ever again. Kidding. I love you, chat. All right, there we go. 6'4" is not tall, chat. You are all just short, okay? Vanya, you're allowed to talk to my son. Why do you think it'll be different here? Vanya special, chat. No. Look, chat, I'm average height. You're all just short. Why'd they kick you out of the previous shelter? What do you think it'll be different here? What am I supposed to do now? Just burn up under the sun? Yes. I don't think I will. As long as I'm alive, I'll keep looking for someone to talk to. If you don't let me in, I'll get lucky somewhere else. If there's any luck left in the world, and anyone who's not an asshole. I don't like this guy. Look, chat. It's fine. Y'all are just short, and it's okay to be short. You can sit on my plushie shelf. I don't have a plushie shelf, but I'll get a plushie shelf for all the short people. It's perfect. Right in front of Silas's cloaca. I mean, why are we in front of Silas's cloaca? You should leave. I understand, but I'm angry. You're just as cowardly as everyone else around here. Sleep well, good man, and fuck you. And Zena's here, who knows? Oh my god, they will not leave me alone. Keeper, come back! You're ugly, sir. Sorry if it's so late. I was so hot today. The TV said it was better not to go out in the sun. Could you maybe find some space for me? How'd you end up here? It's not that I wanted to come here. The asphalt's already melting under our feet, but it's not too bad yet. You're gonna laugh. Visitors came to my house. Imagine, they chased me out of my own home. And so now I want to find somewhere to hide from the sun. What do you think will happen? I don't know. Will I survive? Who'll help me? How long will I have to look for help? I have no idea what's going on to happen. I can't even guess. Hello, Bloody Cigar. So many of the favorite... Oh, Bloody. You're so cute. This man is... I don't know. I don't trust this man. Does this scare you? It terrifies me. You should leave. Huh, okay. Here, thanks for listening anyways. Okay, clearly I should go then. Bye, yeah, bye. Moreau, come back. No, Moreau, stay here. Stay and be short here. Okay, fine, chat. Chat, you're not short. You're all snack-sized, and you're the best. You will survive the winter, while my large body will freeze too quickly. Exactly. See, chat? You're built for survival. You're built for survival, chat. Exactly. Fun-sized. Snack-sized? What? Wait. Sayori, I'm not... You are all the best. Give us some of your height. No, it's mine. Stop trying to take my height. I mean, you all could probably overpower me and then shrink me if you really wanted to, but you know. But chat, I need it. Oh no. Oh no. The sun increasing level has increased slightly. Okay, 1 second, chat. I need to move you again. The game is just like really struggling for me to put you somewhere that I can see you normally. Give me a second while I adjust this. Okay, we're gonna toggle the borders again. All right, we're gonna put you at the bottom of the screen. Hopefully this will work out better. Okay, I work merchandising. My boss is about 4 feet tall. It cracks me up to think about her stocking the deep freezers. She's gonna get stuck in the freezer one day. Can't reach the door handle. Damn, we're all short now and he needs to move us. Look, 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 look. I just had to shrink you a little bit so you'd fit better, okay? Okay, it's fine. And now over to, just a moment. An urgent message has just come into our studio regarding contact with visitors. Eyewitnesses describe them as creatures that can imitate the external appearance and behaviors of humans. Please avoid contact with visitors. In one case, it was possible to identify a telltale sign of these creatures. Perfect white teeth. One witness is able to back this up. He encountered an unhoused person with perfect white teeth who turned out to be a visitor. That's all for now. Stay calm and don't leave the house during the day. Now for the weather forecast. Ooh, okay. My laugh. Well, I'm glad you like my laugh. Chat, the girl's gone. Which I'm gonna become a villain soon. Chat, the girl's gone. Chat, we let a girl in and she's gone. I'm not, Vanya, I'm not making any promises. Keeper's trying to eat you. Don't eat Vanya. Emergency rations are for emergency situations. We're not in an emergency situation yet. Are there any other girls besides me? Chat, can we do a pronoun check? Let's do a pronoun check, please. She, they. She, her. He, they. She, her. She, her. She, her. He, they. She, her. I'm a girl. She, her. Also, yours always. Aw, sweetie. She, her, they, them. Moondrop, they, her. I'm they, them, and she, her. She, they. She, her. Yes. And there are quite a few ladies. Ladies. So I think the girl killed the... ladies. And men. And non-binary gentlefolk. I think whoever I was supposed to be here is gone. Anyways, you suck at this game. I don't know what happened. There's nobody here now. I'm gonna let somebody in just so that we can check in on them. Gotta be right back. All right. Yo, you see what's going on? Fucking crazy. How things with you? What do you want? Nothing, just curious. I don't like his teeth. I don't like his teeth, chat. They're too nice. They're too nice. But I got a way for you to make some easy money. With such a buzz from the sun, you can make money without hardly lifting a finger. All these chumps are scared of something. They just need to get cracking. What do you suggest? You want to survive? You got to make some plans while you have the opportunity. Fuck the sun. Make some moves. If you meet, let's go. What you think? I don't like this man. His shirt says Among Us. Wait, you can't see it. Damn it, chat. Read his shirt. Yes, I do suck at every game. Fuck him. You should leave. You're an idiot, obviously, but fine. Go fuck yourself. I'll go to your neighbors then. Peace. I'm a boy failure. I'm gonna be a C-tier villain. We're gonna be trying to take over the world and failing all the time. Oh my god. Can you let me in, buddy? What happened to you? I got caught in the afternoon sun while putting out forest fires. I'm the only one left from my squad. I'd have someone? Oh, I thought I did. The rest, the boss wouldn't leave. Now they're on shift eternally. Why are you in a hospital? The hospital? There's no more hospitals. When the visitors came, there was no more point in hospitals. Hard to get treatment if you can't trust who's treating you. I'm better off putting out fires and dying with my friends. I don't have much time left anyways. All right, you gotta come in. I trust this man. This man is trustable. You want me to be a C+? Well, okay, no. Okay, so chat. What do you think my power is? What do you think my power is of being to be a villain? Stealing hearts? No. Nice try. I don't think I'll be in your hair for long. This man's gonna die. At least I won't have to die on a damp ground. Persuasion? No. It is occasional luck. And just enough luck to stop me from dying when things go bad. But never luck when I need it. It's like Domino, but shitty. Is to get nervous around sleeping people? Why would I be nervous around sleeping people? Spend 3 hours trying to escape an escape game only to stay imprisoned. Here, I don't need it anyways. Either throw it away or use it for something else. Yay, we got something. Why would I be afraid of sleep? What do you want? Wait, it's called the Devil's Luck? Is that a thing? I like that. I like that. We could have devil motifs. Anyways, you didn't say afraid of sleeping people? Nervous around sleeping people. I like that. Chat. Somebody remind me about the Devil's Luck. Vanya, DM me the Devil's Luck. Put it in stream suggestions. Long time no see. How's life? Do I know you? Come on, you don't remember? Look at that. Look at the face. Look at the face. We were... Hang on, your voice is different. How long ago did this place change owners? This house has always been in my family. Nah, come on. Alright, chat, I need to shrink down so you can see better because I'm covering this person completely. It's like this game wants not to be perceivable. There you go, chat. We'll be small-sized. I'm tiny now, chat. I feel like I'm too small. I'm so small, chat. I don't want to be this small. Okay, we're going to do this. There we go. And we're going to do this. There we go. I feel better. I am still 6'4". I'm just... No. Wait, chat. I got this. Let me get to your height. I'll get to your height real quick, okay? There we go. Actually, here, I have an idea. So now I'm chat's height. Sorry, I can't get anywhere. Okay, there we go. Why is Gene a midget? What did I miss? I had to shrink so that chat could see the game because the game keeps like making me cover things up. No, I'm shrunk so that you can see the game. I want you to see the weird people. No, be short here. Just be short here, okay? I love you all being short here. I appreciate it. I promise. I'll stop making fun of you. You should leave. What the hell, huh? I see you're a normal guy. Maybe Energeca could change your mind. Pushing myself here tired me out. Now that was work. Energeca? What the heck is Energeca? Fine, she can come in. Here, take the Energeca. Thanks for letting me in. Alright, chat. We'll review them in the morning. Bye, keeper. Mwah. Have fun. Good afternoon. Here's the news. The anomalous heat is continuing to rise, and the invasion of the visitors has not stopped. Echo, thank you for the like. Really appreciate it. The government has organized a special service to address the emergency situation, a Federal Emergency Management Agency, abbreviated as FEMA. FEMA employees may be identified by their yellow hazmat suits and gas masks. Although they are only begun their work recently, the agency has already discovered a new sign of visitors. Thank you for the bits. Dirt under the fingernails. According to specialists, the sign helps identify visitors who have crawled out from underground. That's all for now. Stay calm and don't leave the house during the day. Next up, a report on the Pale Maniac, but first an ad break. All right, chat, it's time. It's time. We can finally inspect people. All right, I want to test you. Teeth. Nope, yellow teeth. Okay, I trusted him. Oh, she has no legs. Silas, DM me for the audio. I will start doing the audios actually today. But yes, DM me for a custom 1-minute audio. Okay, well, give me your test, then I'll pass them all. Teeth. Fucked up teeth. Leave them alone? Okay, I guess they're fine. Vanya has 9. Vanya also hasn't redeemed any. I guess we're good for this one. Nice. I told you could redeem them. I've told you repeatedly you can redeem them, Vanya. Repeatedly. Yeah, the burnt guy's fine. He's got fucked up teeth. Okay, DM me what you want. Hi, JJ, how you doing? And remember, each one can be a minute long. Holy shit, look at this guy. Chat, look at this guy. What the fuck is this man? I'm not letting you in. Is your door nice and sturdy? You never know. You understand. I have a gun. Fantastic. Despair gives courage to cowards, right? But hey, you home alone? No, I'm not alone. It's your lucky day. I can hear somebody whispering inside. But who knows what will happen in a few days. Jesus. Hello there, human. How lucky we are. We have witnessed the punishment of humans' lust with our own eyes. The earth is being cleansed, the sun is doing the work, and we're on a path to a pure new world. Behold this fucking blessing. What? What did you expect, human? Look at his face. My God. Listen, I'll give you a little rundown. The sun does not burn and broil us in vain. It is cleaning us of our sins. We've made a mess of all kinds of things. Now we have to anger the sun. It's giving us our due. This is a blessing. A sin will end, and we shall live as we should. What happened to you? What does this have to do with me? We shall all live well as soon as the sun assists us. The sun will help us all escape all of this. Don't you understand? You understand that's why you're alive? All right, you can leave. How stupid can you be? You're chasing away a righteous man. For letting me in, you shall receive a generous reward from the Holy Sun. Remember, reconsider, my good man. Yeah, fuck it, I want shit. I'll tell you plenty more about all this. Here's a generous reward from the Holy Sun himself. You deserve this. Yay! I forgot to ask you, got any beer? I'm gonna kill that man, chat. I'm so excited. So you meet again. What the what? Remember things were different last time, but we live? It's strange. Don't know how to explain it. I'd like to start our conversation with an action. Can you tell my fortune from a book? Which page should I open to? What am I sorry for? I'll leave for the hydrate. Hi, Becca. What's the hydrate? I'm sorry. What are you sorry? I'm so confused. Sorry for in advance. What do I need to be sorry about? I'm waiting. Give me Jay, explain. Really? I want to see him. Definitely need to see them. Okay, just up in the middle. What are you? Me? You are home. Yes, a tragic story. Is this what awaits us? It's quite possible. Do you really believe? Not entirely. It's better to look at it as advice, so don't forget to do something. Or so you pay attention. Chat, we're gonna try this. I want to see the maidresses. I have a book next to me. It has... One second. Has 71 pages, chat. Hi, Raven. Oh, Raven, you're such a bad boy. Such a bad boy. Jay, ping me on Twitter. Post him on Twitter, ping me on Twitter, and I'll come look at him. All right, we have 71 pages, chat. Pick a page from 1 to 71, and I'm going to read the first paragraph on that page, okay? First person who says the number, and this is going to 69. All right, you would. The tail's venomous sting can paralyze a victim. Test toughness, DR14, to avoid one painful hour of paralysis. Well, there you go. And we'll do 50 as well. I think 50 might be fun. The stone of your cave is one with the stars, silence and perfection. Now the chaos of a fallen world disturbs your rituals, and the call of the night grows blacker than your cavern's gloom. Irritating. This book is Morkborg. Sorry. It is a game system that is 71 pages long. It's very simple. It's a very cool game system. I want to try it out sometime. Oh, well, please. I can't wait to see it, Jay. Though I have a feeling it's going to be very, very eye-opening. Well, I was thinking about some knowledge came to me. A person with a cat will arrive soon. It's important that you let them inside. I can't say why yet, but it should make things easier. For now, I should go and think about your selection from the book. Bet! Okay, so here's the plot of the game, chat. The sun is wrong and is making things really hot. And creatures have started crawling out from the earth that look like people. And your goal is to stay alive. It's you on your knees with a rose in your mouth. Can I come in for a rest? And where are you going? I just want to fall down somewhere and never get up again. Doesn't matter where I end up. Is your companion sick? He's my husband. He's dead. I can't give him a proper burial. No point letting him go now. Come in. All right. And our goal is to make sure that none of them are evil. None of them are trying to kill us. And we're just trying to survive as long as we can. Does anyone have a flat piercing? What do you mean a flat piercing? Okay, well, but she was alive. Exactly. Good afternoon, here's the news. FEMA has taken new measures to address the situation with visitors. They've organized quarantine zones for people who are potentially dangerous. FEMA has also identified a new visitor sign after experimenting with those detained. Blood red eyes. According to our data, FEMA reported these signs after observing detained visitors. The creatures have increased photosensitivity, causing their eyes to become inflamed and red. That's all for now. Stay calm and don't leave the house during the day. Next up, a report on FEMA. But first, a short ad break. All right. We'll check on him a little bit more in a bit. You're fine. Hi, Jaina-chan. How you doing? How you doing? Good, okay. First off, I'm listening humans speak. I need to test you. What do you want to check? Teeth. My teeth stood up for the truth and fell for it. You can see that for yourself. I don't know. They're pretty clean. I need to test you. Teeth. I don't know. Let's check the eyes. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good. My day's been pretty good. Can people even cry in the new world? They definitely can't laugh. You're out. Can we be frank now? You can't be happy. You can't cry. You can't always talk. What's left? Sitting around with your face in your hands? We're checking her fingers. We're checking her fingers. Hi, human. How you doing? Okay, they're clean. They're clean. They're clean. They're clean. She's been crying. She's been crying. It's okay. Her eyes can be red. I want to check him, though. Eyes. Look into my dark eyes. I use them to absorb all the benefit of the light, transforming them into energy. I get all my energy through my eyes. That's very red. Have you seen the righteous power of the sun in my eyes? It's not. You're blind. Try looking at the sun for longer like me. Oh, he's been looking at the sun. Why are you looking at the sun, you fucking... Okay, we need one more energy, chat. What kind of idiot looks at the sun? If they have dirty fingers, that means they've dug their way up from through the earth, and they are from inside the earth. So I need to test you. Hands. They look clean. They're fine so far. They're not demons. They're visitors. I get it. I think we're still good. Remember, we have to let in the woman with the cat, and then we're good. Good evening. I'm from FEMA. We're going around your neighborhood. Are you alone? No, of course not. Our brigade split up into a few small groups to cover more ground. This conversation shouldn't take much of your time. All right. How are you going to help us? Our first order of business is collecting data center leadership. Then they'll develop a response procedure. Right now, you just need to stay calm. Do you have a plan of action? Of course, we can't be spontaneous. We'll take one of your people to our laboratory, and they'll just complete a few tests so we can make sure that everything's all right. Then we'll return them. Should I just wait for something to happen? Yes, once we have all the information, we'll provide the instructions. No need to worry at the moment. We just take one person and try to get them back as soon as possible. Take care. Suck on that rock? Don't suck on rocks, chat. Sucking on rocks is bad for you. I don't like this man. Hello, resident. I'm in a bad mood, so I apologize in advance. So many jackasses around here. I hope you're not one of them. You're not one of those beasts, are you? Good question. You must have noticed that there are two camps of people, right? One of them is fucking sadists, worse than any visitor. They do whatever they want, put a gun against your head and pull the trigger, and another one bites the dust. The other type's just beasts. You can walk all over them, and they'll thank you for not killing them. And both of them piss me the hell off. How are you any different? I want to believe I'm different. You know, it scares me shitless to think about being turned into a maniac or a victim. Both sides are bullshit. Though, victims are worse. They just sit around waiting to get their shit beat out of them. Get their teeth knocked in, or whatever else. You'll understand my anger if you've seen what I have. I don't know. Do we bring him in? He does have little tiny hands. I don't like his tiny hand, chat. Chat, I don't like his hands being tiny. Do we just make him leave? Can I crunch on rocks? Don't crunch on rocks! Chat, what do you think? Leave him? Yeah, no. Small hands. You need to have big hands. Big yowie hands. Only yowie hands. Fuck it. Fucking fuck. Look, how about I give you an Erka Jerker and you let me in? So everyone's fucking happy. Come in! Don't worry about me, I'm just fuck. Anyway, take the Energica. Choco rocks? Only if they're actual candy. I don't think I need this crap. I'd be better if I just calm the fuck down. Licking shoes. Why are we licking shoes, chat? Are you the cat lady? Hi. You let me in. Are you panicking? I don't know what to do. People. Killed my dad. My dad. Why did they do that? I don't know. They were just sitting with my dad in the kitchen, and they did something, and then they set fire on the house. While I was running away, they were just laughing. You like the tiny hands because it makes stuff look big. I draw them. All right, chat, you got to pick this one. Chat, let's put a vote to it. We're going to do a poll. All right, chat, we're starting a poll. Let's go. Wait. What's the cat doing? What's the cat doing? All right, chat, vote. I believe in you. You got this. Do we let her in or do we kick her out? Your choice. She does look sad. I don't trust sad people, chat. Oh, even ad break. Well, everybody vote. Evil Maxwell's crazy. He was kind of cute, though. All right, chat. Let's see what the poll's at. We're doing good. We got no. Let her in. 5 of you are saying no. Only 1 of you saying yes. I could have sworn more of you in chat said yes, but okay. I guess no. We'll kick her out. Rip Agile. All right, Joe, we'll take a minute real quick while Agile is around. How's everybody doing? How are you all doing? You all feeling fantastic? You all feeling happy? You all having a good day? Yes, no, I hope you are. It's not letting you vote. Well, sounds like a you problem. You let her in, I'll put you out with the sun. I was going to say no anyway. Wow. Desi, why are you... Do it, eat it, Siri. I believe in you, Siri. Eat it. What'd I do? Don't worry about it, Gene. I'm glad to hear your day's been well. Holy shit. Chat. So, give me a second. Whoa. So I had a container of moonshine, right? And I filled it up with, well, it had moonshine in it, and it had peaches in it. Well, I finished the moonshine, so I put gin in it to soak into the peaches. I just ate one of the peaches, and it just, it's intense. Oh, that hit all the way up to my sinuses, and I felt it in my eyes. I don't know how I ate something, and I felt it in my eyes. That's insane. All right, looks like the ad is over in about 30 seconds. I'm sorry I was Zapdos. Did you suck on that peach? No, I just chewed it. But it's good. It's very good. Okay. Here we go. Where will I go? Wah! I'm so scared. She's gone. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll suck on it next time for you, okay? It looks like no one else is coming for the night. Ran off with a berry. It was a good berry. What is it, and why was it formed? The Federal Emergency Management Agency is a special government service that was formed to ease the emerging crisis. They're helping to address the problem caused by the visitor invasion. It's not known for sure what exactly the agency is working on, but we can say with confidence that our fate is in reliable hands. As for new information, eyewitnesses have reported a new sign of the visitor. Hairless armpits. That's right, Chad. If your armpits are hairless, evil. Go put some hair. FEMA has reported that the sign is linked to the fact that the visitors have no hair in this area. The agency is asking citizens to bear with the test and escort. That's all for now. Stay calm and don't leave the house during the day. Go get some hair. Go get some hair, chat, right now. Okay. Where's the new guys? They're fine. I also like house armpits. And I like people. Oh. Why are there trash bags there? Fucking shit. If you calm down, yeah, I calm down quickly, but as soon as I remember something like that, I lose my temper again. To be more easygoing, it's hard to offend me or push my buttons. Now it just takes a little spark and all hell breaks loose. Why should I stay calm anyway? Maybe my rage helps me keep my good sense. At least I don't worship the sun like some stupid fuckhead. How could they think the sun will save us? It's fucking killing us. It's all heading out to getting us into Kingdom Come. Alright, thanks for listening. Any test you? Teeth. Oh my god, okay. I used to think that if my teeth were gonna be like this, I should at least get gold ones. Like those tough guys in the movie. I need to test you. Let's look at his armpits. Is that hairy or hairless? I can't tell. Yes, I shave. I can't stand it when there's any hair on my armpits. It's like fucking shrub deciding to grow down there. Eyes. Okay, he's fine. Okay, but why, first off, why is there trash bags? Where'd the trash bags come from? There used to be a person there. Where are the corpses? Where's the guy? Where's the burning guy? Hello, Rosclade. How you doing? You in the trash bag? Oh. I don't like this man. I like the little emote. Emote's cute. Okay, looks like we're good. I do want to know where the guy without any legs went. I'm assuming, you know, I'm hopefully... I don't know. I don't trust any of them, chat, okay? But I'm supposed to let them in. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was in a wheelchair, I guess. But where'd the burn guy go, unless he just died? Hello. Oh, lean on me for a moment. Is it okay that we're here? Are both of you sick or just one of you? We all suffer from depression to some degree. We knew where things were headed before the trouble with the sun started. Have you been following the news? It's all been leading to this. But I don't think the sun's going to explode. Aren't you tired of carrying her around? Please be careful what you say. Yes, it can be draining, but I can't abandon her if that's what you mean. We left our parents' house together while we have now. You should leave. Please. Please let us in. Even if it's only for one day. We have something. We'll make it up for you. Alright, give me stuff. Yay! I love stuff, chat. Hey, honey. That walk here really took it out of me. Can I come in for a rest? Were you walking around long? I couldn't say how long. What does long mean anyway? Just look at yourself. You're home, but you're still walking around. Have you been walking around long? You must have been. But I'm walked through more decades than you've had hot dinners. That's the way things are, honey. So you could have just kept walking? Why'd you stop? It's like you haven't heard a word I've said, hon. I'm tired of walking. I could at least catch my breath here and have a conversation. 10 minutes enough for an old woman like me. Just tell me something and I share back. And I can at least close my eyes for a while. We have to let in the Russian grandmother. Hello, Echo Rose. How you doing? We gotta let her in. Hey, old friend. What have you got there? A dangerous man with wounds? One moment, there's some clatter. The next, someone's whispering to the shadows. That kind of place frightens me. I don't wander alone for the fun of it, you know. I can't tolerate when there's too much shouting or too many faces. If you like them better, you better off with them. I'll stay on the porch. Wait for the wind to change. Don't get mad, but I don't go out in this type of storm. I've got this. Come on in. Yeah, I trust him. I trust them. They're the best. This is fine. I'm sure it's fine, chat. I'm sure it's fine. Oh, demo's over. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Unless we lost. I don't know what happened. I guess. It's interesting. It's cool. I guess we won? Huh. Not enough happened for me really to judge. So that means we're gonna play the next game. Yay! We'll take a little break here while we're doing this. Chat, what do you think of the game? What do you think of the game? What if I put you in a bag? Don't put me in a bag. Mwah, mwah. Thank you. And hello, Toxic. Thank you for the hydrate. That was a fast demo. I mean, yeah, I guess like we did play it for an hour. Like it was not an hour. We played for like a half an hour, and it seems like it could be a cool game. I love the art. It seems pretty interesting. Oh, that's adorable. But like, I don't know. Nothing happened. Maybe I did too good. Yeah. Okay, we have another game that we're going to be playing today. I forgot what it's called. Let me see if I can find it. Let's go to just chatting while I do this. This one I wouldn't necessarily call a horror game, but it is weird. Okay? It is called Militsioner. I don't know how to say this, chat. You're going to have to help me pronounce it. But in the game, there's a giant cop. There's a giant cop in the city, and you do stuff in the city. That's all I know. There's just a giant cop. And it looks very interesting. I've never seen a game like this. So hopefully it's interesting. There's currently 2.8K viewers, but yeah, we're going to see what it looks like. You ready, chat? We're going to get it up. This is just the play test. No, not a giant cock. All right. We're going to do this. All right, chat, I'm back to full size again. We'd like your permission to collect and process analytic data. Your data is 100% anonymous. Agreeing. That sounds great. Remember, this is just a demo. The final game will have major changes in visuals and gameplay. We want to be sure you know this isn't the end product. This is a I can't pronounce it. You ready? Mwah. It's millet, okay? Run. Fuck. Oh, new game.
Someone must have been telling lies. You haven't done anything noteworthy in your life. Yet, this morning, you were arrested. Get on the next train.
Right. Day one. Okay, I've seen a little random snippets of this game. Look me in the eyes. Don't blink. Do you normally wake up this early? What? What? Why am I being held? No, what is it? 6? He felt suspicious. And do you have a cup of coffee or tea? Coffee. Alone? Yeah, alone. Okay, you're good to go. You're simply under arrest, nothing more than that. Oh, and I'll need your vocal consent that you won't leave town. I won't run away. He felt happy. Oh my god. Oh my god. This man is just in the... Jesus. See how giant this man is. I drink something refreshing. Ooh. Speak, don't be shy. Okay. Everyone knows I'm a good girl officer. I mean, like, Jesus. This is an Eldritch-type horror situation, chat. When they're, like, so big that it's not really understandable how fucking big they are and why they're so big. How do I leave? How do I leave? Help! Ah! Ah! Do you think he has a giant... Anyways. I'm glad. Hey, buddies. Huh, let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Always wondered what it feels like being a famous criminal. I'm not a criminal. But why would the news lie? Take his hand. There's a way out. The train comes daily at 1. It just so happens I have a spare ticket. Take it as legal advice from a lawyer. This is your only chance. Take the key and open the door on the right. Oh, thank God. Okay. Oof. Oof. Ha. I thought I was trapped. We're good. That's insane. To store items in your bag, grab items. Okay. Take the fake ticket. Ooh, rubles. Yay! Giant cop what? Brick. I want brick. We're taking all the bricks, chat. Okay, let's see how do we do this. Tap to open the bag. Chat, I can throw bricks now. This is amazing. I got this. I got this. I got this. I got this. Ready? Ready? Hit. Yeah! It worked! I broke the TV. Chat, you broke the TV. You broke the TV. That wasn't me. Chat, I can't believe you broke the TV. Chat, why would you break the TV? Look, I'm telling on you. I'm gonna go tell the cop that you broke the TV. Cop? Cop, they broke the TV. Arrest them. Hi, teddy bear. How you doing? I can't believe you guys did that. I can't believe you guys did that. Why would you break the TV like that? Don't. You're so mean. Time to punish us. Echo, down. Bye, human. Mwah. You be good, okay? How do I leave? Do I live here now? Where's the evidence? TV broke. You did. Clearly, that's the only thing that could have happened. Okay. And what else would have happened, chat? You think I did it? Never. Wait, do we maybe... Hit! Chat, stop breaking stuff. Why did you break that door? I take a look whenever life gets you down. See you wearing a frown, and the gravy train has left you behind. When you're all out of hope, then at the end of your rope, nobody's there to throw you a line. If you ever feel so low you don't know which way to go, come on and take a walk in my shoes. Never worry about a thing, got the world on a spring, 'cause I've got the cure for all of my blues. I take a look at my enormous penis and the trouble's starting to melting away. I take a look at my enormous penis and the happy times are coming to stay. Well, I sing and I dance when I glance in my pants. I got a feeling like a sunshiny day. Take a look at my enormous penis. Anyways. Closed eyes order. Wait, I don't think can he see me? Can he see me? He can see me. Okay, chat. But I don't think if I'm over here, he can see me. Dick Down in Dallas. I don't know what that song is, but no. Oh, he can see me. Hi! Do you want a mechanical wristwatch? Oh, shit. Chat, the wristwatch is gone. Okay, so I have to make him happy so it's not flooded. Got it. What are you talking? The cop looks kind of nerdy, though. Have you seen his, like, little mustache? Banana. What do you mean he has these little goofy? No, not that kind of nerdy. Not good nerdy. Bad nerdy. Like doesn't shower enough nerdy. Like a geek, okay? I'm gonna give him my banana, chat. Wait. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, he feels less sad now. Let him take a shower with me. Crazy. Oh. What's up, Weird Hand? There's more than one way to perform an escape. Experiment, explore, and take information. Information's your key. Why is he getting your banana, not us? Well, because he has me kidnapped, chat. Oh, does he want an apple? Do you want an apple? I'll never say no to an apple. He likes apples. Yay, I feel like I'm full, thanks. I'll buy you... You want to not watch me for... He wants a pet? Chat, he wants a pet. Get on your knees and bark. Vanya, thank you so much for the redeem. Hello, my lovely Vanya. You are so absolutely fantastic. I hope you know that. You're wonderful, you're kind, you're sweet, you're cute. And I really do appreciate you. You've made the stream so much better just by being a moderator in the stream. And honestly, I trust you more than almost anyone else in this entire world. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for the redeem, Vanya. Mwah. Wow, you would get on your knees that quickly. Arf, ruff. Gene, breathe if you hate us. Okay. Okay. The problem was I didn't have I couldn't take in a breath. I couldn't breathe in because you said to not breathe. So there was no breath. There was no breath. No, you said I could breathe. Stop. No, you tricked me. It's not. Why would you do this to me, Chad? Why would you do this? I was trying so hard. Chat said if I breathe, I hate them. And I tried not to breathe, but then they were like, oh, breathe, and I breathed, and then they hate... Kit. Taking the cat. Hello, you asked for a pet. I have pet for you. I have pet for you. Here's a pet. Kit. What? I always wanted a cat. I just stole a cat from somebody, by the way, chat, and I gave it to a giant man. Loud cat noises. What do you mean loud cat noises? It ran away. No! No, quite the cat run away. We were doing so good, chat. He was happy for a split second. You're starving? Oh god, let's go find you. Let's go find you a snack. We need to make him happy so I can go in the sewers. What do you mean drown? He's gonna kill himself. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Food. I have pickles. I have pickles. Stop drowning me. Eat the bread. What the fuck? Why is men's deodorant name so weird? Because men are so weird. Shit. Okay. 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 Foof. Yeah. All right. We need food. We need food, chat. Oh, shoot. Stairs. Okay. Sir, I'm robbing you. We're gonna drown. I need to rob you. No! Wait, wouldn't let me. Oh, upgrade. Upgrade. We can upgrade him. In the mood for love. Oh yeah, we're gonna upgrade the love chat. There we go. I tried to break him down, chat, but they wouldn't let me. See, look at that mustache, chat. You're into that? That's what you like? You like that mustache, chat? They wouldn't let me brick him. I tried to brick him. He's low-key hot. What do you mean he's low-key hot? Different than the last one, but all the same. Chat, if you get me to partner status, you'll see me being low-key hot. Kidding, chat. Don't get too excited. We're looking for that drowned body? Yeah, no shit. It's drowned. I can't lose my job over this. Okay. You're responsible for the death. He felt scared. Chat, do you want to do a hear me out cake? Chat, do you want to do a hear me out cake with me? I haven't done one in a long time. Do y'all want to do like get really drunk and do a hear me out cake? You all submit your hear me outs and then I judge your hear me outs to see if they're any good. Yeah? Yes? Yes, 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 yes. Oh my god, you are all so excited. Hey, Vanya. How much would it cost for me to commission you to make me the form? Oh, we also need to do, I need to do the mod applications as well. Damn you? Alright. Hey. Giggle at the ghost he's covered, the fuck? Okay. Let's go. Jay, plan your next move. All right. We're going to try to make the chain. We're going to try to do the train chat. We're just going to try to escape. This is cool. This is cool. This is fucking cool. Can we admit this game is just really fucking cool? Like, it's such a unique concept. is cool as fuck, right? Hey, chat. Hey, chat. Wait, chat. Chat. Why'd you break the TV again? I can't believe you. Why would you do that? That's don't break the TV. Come on. Come on, chat. Like really? Really? What do you mean you recorded it? What do you mean you recorded it? Fake footage. Fake footage, chat. Fake footage. Not real. Doctored, photoshopped. You can't prove it was me. It was not me. Oh, Apple. Not me. Why are you lying about me, chat? I would never do anything like that. Okay, if not flooded, he must be happy. Wait, is it flooded? Oh, it's water. Okay. Fuck you mean, doctor. Yeah, Photoshop doctored. He's a big fat liar. I am not. Look at him. Look at him just staring at me. Was that Pennywise? That's Pennywise, chat. Oh, what's this? Town and the giant change depending on the time of the day. To skip forward, rest on the beach, on a bench. Oh, cool. Okay. I would never lie, chat. Prove it right now. I can't. I don't know how to lie. This is just so even like the parkour. Parkour. Smoker is asleep. Tiny ants. Pennywise kind of hot though. Stop trying to bang aliens, chat. Robbing me. You're right. He is sleeping. Can we be seen? Be careful. No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it happened. Moxie +1. Okay. We're just gonna. Oh shit! My brick! Chat, how am I supposed to be bricked up without a brick? We got this. Okay. Okay, no, Neeks. Tell me, who do you think is hot? Who do you think is hot, Neeks? Let me in your house. Let me in your house. We can help you be bricked up. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Chat, behave yourself. Ooh. Give me more money. Pickle jar. Oh, I'm fully packed, chat. Chat, be packing it. Oh, we don't need all these apples. Pickles. Yeah. Oh, well, Venom is hot. Okay, Venom is hot. Behave. Beehive. Chat, we can be bees. Chat, we can be bees. Alright, we're gonna give him some snackies. No, chill. I want to give you apple. Apple. An apple a day makes the sadness slightly delayed, but I'm still hungry. And now you get up. I'll give you my pickle. Come here, have my pickle. Why are you feeling sad? Oh my god. Okay, fine. Have apple. And then have apple. Chat, we can be bees. Oh, by the way, chat, if any of your hear me outs are not unconventional, you will lose points, okay? Just a heads up. He didn't even want my pickle. Yeah, you have to have good... I didn't mean to! I didn't realize you were bad! I thought it was okay! I don't know, don't touch me! Oh. Start crying. He quickly turns away, pretending to be busy. Continue breathing gets shaky. He aborts the attempt, avoiding your eyes. Chat, I cried, and he didn't give me a ticket. Oh, an orange. Croissant. Flour. Okay, we'll get him an orange. Thank you. We'll give him an orange. Oh, what do you mean I still have a fine to pay? I'm talking right now. Damn it. Why is he annoyed? Well, we'll settle when you pay 100 rubles. How the fuck am I supposed to get 100 rubles? Fine, I'll stop breathing in. I'm sorry, chat. Okay. Gimme. Okay, we're in. I opened it. No, Give me croissant. Give me take the croissant. I broke it open. Give me croissant. They took my money. Wow. Wow. Hi, Vanya. Wait, are you done already? Okay, do we make it a new event, chat? Bet. Okay. All right. So, I still need to do mod applications. There is no lore. The guy's just big. It's a very Kafka-esque situation where there's just a guy, there's a cop who's big. She's so nice, she's so nice, she's so nice. Ja, natürlich kann ich Deutsch sprechen. Warum willst du, dass ich das machen? Warum brauchst du Deutsch jetzt? Ist mein Englisch nicht gut? Mein Englisch? Probably, Vanya. I just have not looked at it. So you might have to give it to me again. Excuse me. Warum magst du das Deutsch? Viel gut. Nein. Mein Deutsch ist nicht gut. Mein Deutsch ist nicht gut. Ich hab so viel vergessen. Und ich muss nochmal zum Deutschland gehen. Vielleicht soll ich meine Mutti, ach, schade, wie sagt man das? Meine Mutti sehen, aber das ist nicht diese richtige Wörter. There we go. Dein Deutsch is good. Yeah, I mean, it is good when chat, I'm very good at avoiding the words I don't know. So it seems I'm a lot better. Soda! I bet he wants soda. I seem better than I really am because I'm able to avoid the words I don't know. Fucking, I'm taking just. Give me in. Let me in. He's not gonna let me in. Thank you. Kannst du Deutsch? Oder kannst du Deutsch? Fine, we're gonna find a bench to sit in. Gene wants uppies, chat. Give Gene uppies. How would you give me uppies, chat? None of you can lift me. You all small people who are very cute and amazing. I'm in his house, chat. I'm in his house. I gotta take all your food from your fridge. Got the banana. Have you seen my arms? Silas, I have not seen your arms. Very interesting question, though. Stale bread. Okay, but I need to figure out a way to make this man happy. Maybe we'll make him drunk. All right, you've been robbed. Bye. You own a tractor, do you? Lift me up, farm boy. Pick me up. Just throw me over your shoulder. Carry me. Hello, I've come to rob you. If you're okay with me robbing you, please say so. Don't say anything if it's okay if I rob you. Can I just... This is hard, chat. Oh my god! I figured out how to do it, chat. You just have to hit this button. Oh my god. Fully packed. Alright. Give him a PC so he can game, but he's in the water. It's not gonna work. You think there's somebody in here? I'm gonna get... I'm not here. Alright, we're gonna get him drunk, chat. Let's do it. He has a soggy bottom. He does. That's why he's sad, chat, because he has a soggy bottom. Hello, Hidori. Thank you so much for the lurk. Oh no, my brick! Alright, where are you? Here's some alcohol. Oh, no! Bring me the champagne! What is this? Can't you see I'm on duty? Oh. But a small sip wouldn't hurt. There you go. But on one condition. Don't let me drink this alone. He wants to drink with me. Hey, yo, would you like to join me? Yeah. To love. Thank you for this. Chat, he's gonna fall asleep. He's gonna fall asleep. Wait. Is he gonna fall asleep? Chat, I'm about to rob this motherfucking place. I'm so tired. Go to bed. Go to bed. Go to eat. Hey, thanks so much for the follow. Fall asleep. Go to... Damn it. We need more alcohol, chat. She got a... He's not my boyfriend yet. He's not my boyfriend. Not yet. We'll get there. What? What do you mean, Rippies? That costs money. Cat. 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 I'm taking your cat. My cat now. Woo! He's asleep, chat. Now we can rob him. Fine. Give me a second. There you go. You happy? Okay, that opens when he's angry. There you go. You're welcome, Vanya. Oh, hey. Let's go talk to the smoker. Yes. His manhole opens when he's angry. Same.
Were you saying something?
Promise cigs. What was the voice you just did? Huh? Ask why he's scared. You ever hear of the trolley thing? Huh?
Keep your cloaca closed.
No. He's tired now. Nod. Every night I see it. I'm the one pulling the lever. It's an intellectual joke. Oh, wow. Maybe I'm not that biggest lost cause around here. Okay, he's scared now. Okay, so he's asleep. That means he can't be sad, right? Chad, I'm drowning. Chad, I fucked up. Okay. Well, he has to be happy. We can't go in there until he's happy, apparently. So, It's a very interesting game. It's a very interesting game, I think. Does it mean we can rob? What's this? He's angry. He's angry, chat. Ah. Let me down. Study the art of crime. My bad, I shouldn't have asked for it in the first place. How to steal, how to cover an alibi. Easy, all it takes is a little scratch of ink, right? You're on the alibi agreement. Gossip. Oh, I have a secret. Just for you. But secrets must be kept. Shake his hand. Like a nose on a neck, his hand slips unused. Okay, opportunity revealed. Break the ticket booth's window. Yes. They're trained. That's so interesting over there. I want to see what's over there. Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. Okay, I want off the ladder. Let me off the ladder. Wait, what happened? Why are we proud of Moxie? Chat, I can't get off the ladder. Chat, I broke the game. Help, chat. There we go. Okay. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Oof. Well, Moxie, I'm proud of you anyways. I don't know what happened, but I'm proud of you. I am proud of you. Danke, danke. Mwah. Okay. Alright. right, all right. The town and the giant change depending on the time of the day. Skip forward, rest on the bench. Converting illegal items to legal for a price. Oh, it's a laundering machine. You can launder shit. I love that. Okay, what the fuck is this? Oh, I have a cat. I forgot about the cat. Mwah. Why am I a faker? What do I do? What'd I do? Oh, by the way, thank you for the follow, Yagi Funwa. I don't think I noticed before, but hi. Welcome. Hope you have a good time here. Mwah. Don't tell me what. It's just how happy I am about coming out to my friends. Oh, okay, good. I'm proud of you. Why is he still upset? Stop being upset. Hello, who? Who is Hopi? How you doing? We're gonna wait until the daytime. All right. And we escape. Hola, señorita. Okay. Wait, he has to be depressed? This is so weird. He has to be in certain moods for certain things to happen. Jet, but running. Oh. Oh no, not this again. Curls up in a little circle on my doggy bed. Woof woof, yawn. Oh, such an eepy puppy, chat. Can you please give me ear scratches and belly wubs? Woof woof, I'm a cute little puppy. Bark bark. Oh no, I can't get in that way. Oh no, shit, I'm stuck. Gene talks Spanish more often? I don't know Spanish. Well, I can't be laughing. Shit. Teach it to me right now. Teach me a Spanish phrase. Damn, that would be evil. Drew in the mask. Drew, nothing is evil. Shoot, okay. I am never evil. No. Okay. Perché? Yes. You are. Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estés? ¿Cómo estás? Eres muy travioso? Eres muy travioso. ¿Cómo estás, princesa? ¿Cómo estás, princesa? Princesa, right? In Italian, it's principessa. Why you want to clip it? He felt scared. Okay, chat. Don't grab me. Don't grab me. Okay. Why is he scared? Oh, God. Wait, was that an actual apology? Oh, Ellie, you're very naughty. Ah, no! Wait, we're drinking together. We're drinking together again. Thank you for this. Why does he keep wanting to drink with me? Interesting. All right, chat, we got to find the ticket booth. We're going to try to break the window of the ticket booth if we can. I think I remember it being further down. I think it was over here, actually. Okay. Are you going to murder me? You can play dumb, but I can see. All right, chat, we got to do this, chat. We got to do this. We got to do this. Shit! His pronunciation was cute, was it? What time is it, by the way? Thank you for the follow, Fang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 1, 8, 3. I speak throat damage. Me too. No, no, no. Keep your hands away from me. Keep your hands away from me. Do not touch. Do not touch. Yeah. Yeah. What is this game, by the way? This game is, it's Militsioner. I don't know if I have it listed there, or Militsioner. You. Fuck. There's a giant cop and you're under arrest. And yes, this is what's happening right now. I'm trying to get to the next part. I'm trying to get into the hideout. Me in. No, me in. Oh my God. All right. Let's talk to the friend. Hello, friend. Relax, friend. Did you? Oh, is my phone? No, I'm still good. I'm still here. Mm-hmm. What do you mean? Did you freeze? I don't want to steal. I stole your heart a little bit. No rush. Insult. Anyways. All right, chat. What time? I think it is. Okay, yeah. We are reaching the end of stream time. I do have a bunch of other stuff that I do need to do today, unfortunately. And, oh, hey, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. And Jibbits, thank you for the follow as well. Mwah. You didn't steal your heart? That's okay. That's okay. But yes, I had a lovely stream today. I had a lot of fun with you all. I'll be back here tomorrow. Sorry that it's kind of like, yeah, it looks like this game's a lot longer than I thought it was. I'm still trying to figure it out. But this game is free, by the way. It's playtest right now. So if you want to go hop onto Steam, you can find the game through that description. You can play it yourself. And I'll be posting the new event that we're going to be doing, which is going to be the Hear Me Out cake. We're going to do a Hear Me Out cake, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Los amo a todos. Los amo a todos. Fun. The what now? Yeah, we're going to do a Hear Me Out cake. So I'm going to be posting the link in Discord. I'm going to be posting on Twitter, and we'll be putting it into every stream at least once, okay? But yes, actually, you know what? Let's post it real quick. We'll do it real quick. Okay, chat? Oh, there's about to be an ad. We'll snooze it. Here we go. All right, check out the form. There's the form to fill it out. I haven't taken a look at it yet, but you can send in your Hear Me Outs, and we'll be doing that very, very soon. We'll do probably in 2 weeks, okay? If you haven't taken your meds, take your meds. If you haven't eaten anything, please eat something. And let's go find somebody to raid, okay? You've all been amazing today, by the way. I hope you know that. You've just been so incredible. I've had a lot of fun just chilling here, vibing with you all, and I've, I'm in a great mood. I'm in a great fucking mood. Okay. We have some options. We have Rust. We have who's this? Unforgiving, whatever this is called. Unforgiving Oh, they're just starting now. Unforgiving a Northern Hymn. Do you have a preference? We're going to be raiding out to somebody. I got to send you all away, unfortunately. Mwah. So I can go get stuff and get started with streaming. With the work I need to do today. No preference? Keeps? We can raid keeps. Do us. I can't do you, chat. I can't do you. I'm sorry. I'm not abandoning you. Look. Chat, I have work to do. I have audios to record. I have stream things to work on. Y'all want me to get better, right? You want me to be an amazing streamer and be so incredible? Then I gotta work on things, okay? I can't stream all day. I'm sorry. And I love you all so very, 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 very much, though, okay? You're already an amazing streamer. I need to get better, okay? There's more stuff I need to do. And you may comment. Don't sob. Don't be sad. Okay, let's raid. A plot twist? Yeah, raid a plot twist. They're playing Rust. Go say hi for me, okay? There we go. Do lucky. All right, chat. Go copy the raid message. I will see y'all next time, okay? Y'all amazing. I appreciate y'all so very, 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 very much. Mwah, 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 mwah. And mwah. Bye for now.